Hello, everyone. My name is Cristina Velasco, and I'm in grade 11. I was a camper at Moorelands Camp for the past 5 years, and this year I'm really excited to have been hired as a staff member for the very first time. At the end of my sixth grade, in 2016, my mom had told me that I was going to go to an overnight camp for a week on my birthday. I was so mad, I cried and refused to speak to her for a while. In my head, I was convinced it was going to be the worst week of my life. School was already hard enough since I barely had any friends, so how was I expected to go to a new place to make new ones? Before I went to Moorelands, I was extremely shy, kind of like fear from inside out. I didn't like speaking in front of people or to new people in general. At school, I barely participated in activities, and I was extremely anxious when it came to advocating for myself. My grades were definitely not the best, since I would refuse to speak or participate, and it frustrated me and my teachers. And in my head, there was no solution to this problem. Finally, it was my week to go to Moorelands, and everything about that trip seemed so unappealing at the moment. It was a 2-hour-and-a-half bus ride with none of my friends. I sat in the first seat available and tried to close my eyes and sleep for the whole ride. I felt like I was going to go to camp nowhere. After what seemed to me a couple of minutes, I heard a few people singing, and so I opened my eyes and realized the cabin leaders on the bus were singing camp songs, and most of the bus was following along. From that moment, something switched. I saw a group of people enjoying what they were doing and not caring if anyone thought they looked weird. When I arrived at the camp, I was still a bit weary of everything and not too happy that I wasn't in my bed at home. When my cabin leaders saw the uneasiness me and some of the other girls had, they decided to play a get-to-know-you game, which became so much fun that by the end of it, we were already all friends. After the first week at Moorelands, so many things changed for me, and I became more myself. And going year after year, things got even better. Coming back from Moorelands every summer, I got to come out of my shell, and instead of being the shy girl who barely spoke, I've become known for being the most fast-talking, talkative person in the world, maybe after Lorelai Gilmore. After Moorelands, everything seemed easier to complete once I really stopped paying attention to people's negative opinions. I became a million times more confident with myself and did things that I knew would make me happy. I started playing volleyball and saw that I was actually really good at it, and if I hadn't gone to Moorelands, I probably would have never tried. Because of Moorelands and how we had to pick new activities every week to do, I joined my school's varsity volleyball team in grade 9, and I became the captain in grade 10 while playing competitive volleyball outside of school. At Moorelands, I learned a lot of new skills, and I don't think I wouldn't have been able to do, like rock climbing, which gave me the confidence to play volleyball. Right when I came back from camp 2 summers ago, I was ecstatic for the next summer. I went on and on and on to my friends about all the fun stuff that we did and what happened and everything that happened. Finally, it was time to register and of course I applied as fast as I could to our STEP program, which is one of the high school advanced leadership programs at camp. But then COVID struck. We were locked down, and it was probably the hardest thing I and many other people had to do. Being as social as I am and gaining energy from being around people, COVID really took it out of me. At the beginning of the pandemic, my mom had lost her job and was forced to look for another one, and I was forced to be stuck at home. The first month was horrible. We hadn't even started online school. I couldn't go out to see my friends, and I couldn't even go to the aisles of Indigo and read. I was constantly exhausted from being inside, and I didn't know what to do. Finally, when online school started, things didn't get as good as I thought they would. We had been given massive loads of homework from our teachers since we were already a month behind on the curriculum, and they had to finish it. It just felt like I was stuck in Groundhog's Day repeating the same day over and over again. However, like they always managed to do, Moorelands saw a problem and they came up with an amazing solution. Since camps had been canceled during the summer, everyone including me had been disappointed, but Moorelands created their summer camp Zoom programs where we would meet up virtually for the summer once a week for my specific program. And it was something I was super excited for because after not seeing my camp friends for over a year, I finally got to connect with them, even though it wasn't the same. It was just really good because it was an hour a week where nothing was graded and we could just have fun with each other. Being at Moorelands has showed me a lot about what community really is. They have taught me about teamwork, community, and helping others, especially during hard and somewhat stressful times. One year, my cabin was participating in the senior challenge, and we had to carry a canoe from one side of the camp to Canoe Bay. The canoes were so heavy and we were only 6 girls. We thought it was practically impossible. We looked around at the other cabins and saw that they had at least 10 campers in them, and we thought it was super unfair. We were pretty frustrated with the whole situation and didn't know what to do. We finally decided to stop complaining and just start the challenge. To get over the difficulties of carrying the canoe, we started singing camp songs and talking about things to distract us. And finally, we had arrived to Canoe Bay. Even though we were one of the last cabins, we had such a good time, and from there we were really close. It didn't matter to us that we didn't win. We had such a good time, and that's what made our week amazing. Because of all that, I learned that no matter what the outcome is, as long as we helped each other out, worked together, and had a good time, we could achieve so much. From all these amazing things I had picked up from Moorelands Camp, it left me with a lot of skills and strength that I'm able to use in my own community and school. From being at Moorelands, I learned that using my voice and being loud was such an important thing to have. I learned that being able to advocate myself and others when needed is something everyone should be able to do. And using my voice and having my opinions weren't annoying and unneeded, but were actually wanted and cared for. Because of Moorelands and this realization, I learned to help those in my school who might need that little extra push like I did. Once we started online school, me and my friend had realized that a lot of our own friends were struggling in math, and imagined the younger kids might have been struggling as well. So we went to our math teacher and asked if we could start a tutoring program for math and set up sessions for kids who might feel embarrassed to ask for help from their teacher. We thought that maybe having kids their own age would help them succeed better, especially since math is mandatory until 11th grade and is really hard for some people. Since I knew how it felt like not to want to ask for help, be shy, and feel like all my questions were embarrassing, I knew this would be really good for them, just like Moorelands was really good for me. Finally, Moorelands really helped me find a proper path I'd like to follow when I'm older. I had always thought the only way to have a successful career was to do something with science, so I pretended to enjoy it, even though I was really, really bad at it. Although, at Moorelands I saw these people I looked up to, talking about the things they were passionate about and wanted to do and to pursue, and a couple of them weren't even in science. At that moment, I realized I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to. I started thinking about what I really enjoyed and found out that being a teacher or a screenwriter are two things that I would love pursuing in the future, especially teaching. At Moorelands, I learned a lot about how much I enjoy helping people, teaching people new things, and seeing the look on their face when they finally understand what's going on. Also, thanks to Moorelands, I learned about goal setting and how to do it properly, and I've managed to come up with a whole plan to achieve my goal of studying English and history at university in the next few years, and planning from there what exact career I'm going to pursue. If it hadn't been for Moorelands, I'm 155% sure I wouldn't be where I am right now. Planning for university, having future plans, just being the positive person I am right now. I would like to thank everyone who has helped and supported Moorelands over the past and present years. It means a lot to me and many others who have attended Moorelands Camp. Thank you so much.